Welcome to episode number 58 of the Let's Discuss Gaming podcast. I am your host, Triple J. Joining me is my co-host, Dr. Games 101.
Hey there, guys. What's going on?
And we're going to be talking about the latest news in gaming that happened over the last 2 weeks and give you our opinions. You ready to start?
But before we do, Triple J, I'll let my host know that I'm currently having technical difficulties right now on this episode. So hopefully, as my next episode, it should be better. So, okay, guys, we can continue on.
Okay. First story coming up. Crash Bandicoot 4 hit Steam this month. New title seemingly teased for the Game Awards. It looks like Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, is heading to Steam, with Activision Blizzard announcing the news in unorthodox fashion. The publisher also appears to be teasing the reveal of a new Crash game. The publisher sent a special Crash-themed pizza box from Aku Steam and Pizza Shack to influencers such as YouTuber Canadian Guy A. His unboxing video showed that the box is rigged with a not-so-subtle message that Crash 4 heads to Steam on October 18th. The game, which launched in 2020, is currently playable on PC only through Battle.net. Additionally, the box was also rigged, that's a weird way to talk about a box, with a message that read, "Hungry for more? Try our new one-piece pizza for $12.08. Given that the Game Awards is set to air on December 8th, it appears highly likely we'll find out the nature of this title, rumored to be a party game called Wumpa League, during the annual show. Are you excited to play Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time on Steam? What do you think the rumored new game will be? So, have you played Crash Bandicoot 4?
Unfortunately, not yet. I'm still trying to beat the first Crash Bandicoot of the Insane Trilogy on, a regular difficulty, which is basically the only difficulty. And in this game of the first Crash Bandicoot has been remade, I guess you could call it. It's challenging. I went to this level where it's a castle level of sorts, and it's way more challenging than I thought. And I was stuck on the other levels, the Bridge to Nowhere, and some other Dr. Cortex labs, things of that matter. And they were pretty challenging back when I was younger, and still is to this day now. So until I finished with the Crash Bandicoot 1 and 2, I already beat Crash Bandicoot 3 for so many times when I was younger. I actually was able to beat the other levels, the other 5 extra levels that you unlock after beating Cortex for the first time. So Crash Bandicoot 4 is not going to be no different. At the same time, it will be, because obviously it features the return of Entropy, Engin, Dingo Dial, I think his name is, Tiny Tiger, Coco Bandicoot was your ally, Uka was your enemy with Dr. Neo Cortex, and then Aku with Crash Bandicoot. So it's gonna be interesting game to play to those who wants to wait and see while doing that game later on. If I have time, hopefully. So.
Yeah, I've never played Crash Bandicoot 4. I never played 3. I played 1, 2, and I played the spin-off.
Okay.
Actually, no, it was a co-op spin-off where Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon teamed up. But that was a party game.
Right.
So I've never played it, but unfortunately, I don't play games on Steam, so this won't mean much to me. It's only playable on PC now, so I haven't had the chance to play Crash Bandicoot 4. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of fun for people who can play it. As far as the new game coming out, I have no idea. It sounds like it would be better off as a party game.
Crash Bandicoot 4?
No, like the new Wumpa game, whatever that's going to be.
Really?
Because, like I said, I never played Crash Purple, but I played Spyro Orange. Both games connected together. Just the adventure was from one point of view in Crash's game, one point of view in Spyro's game. But they were working together on the same adventure after the first level, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that game was just a bunch of mini games that you had to complete, and then when you complete enough mini games, you could take on the boss. And I know I'm talking about games that are like 10 years old,
Yeah.
But I'd love to see something like that again.
Okay.
For the new, for the new game coming out.
I didn't know there was a new game coming out for Crash after Crash Bandicoot 4, but okay.
Yeah.
Because Crash Bandicoot 4 came out back as early as, 2021? If not 2020?
2020 is said in the article.
2020?
Yep.
Oh, wow. It's been 2 years this year. Wow. Time flies, guys. I'm sorry. As you can tell, with my own personal career on YouTube, you can tell from how many years of playing with you guys on the YouTube channels. It's a very time consuming to play these games, like in platforming games, like especially Crash Bandicoot and Super Mario, because Crash Bandicoot 3, I mean, it's easier than way easier than the first Crash Bandicoot, but it was still challenging to some extent. You still gotta memorize the levels, memorize your faults, your trials and errors, and eventually you overcome them. And I know one thing certain: Crash Bandicoot 4, even though it's coming to Steam to some people who have never played it before, so it's going to be a new experience for them to see how much Crash Bandicoot has evolved since the third, if not fourth, Crash Bandicoot, which the fourth one was the Wrath of Cortex. And then obviously the PS2 games onto the PS3 or whatever, those games I heard were not as great because it's made by another company, or at least a subsidiary of a company of sorts, other than Naughty Dog. So, and that's kind of interesting that Naughty Dog has their own accomplishments just making these Crash Bandicoot games. Because I heard that from the first Crash Bandicoot to the second Bandicoot game, it took them not even a year to make the second Bandicoot game. That was pretty interesting, because that's a crunch right there. That's like very challenging for that matter to overcome. And obviously, back then the technology is different, but still, it's like 9 months is a short period if you're not careful. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. Crash Bandicoot 4, people, if they played it, they probably have their opinion. And only time will tell what this new game will be.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it as we find out more.
Definitely.
Ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right. Next story. Hold on. Okay. Google kills cloud gaming service, announces cloud gaming laptops. That's right. If you first you fail, tweak the strategy and try again. When it comes to launching and shutting down products, nobody does it better. Can we throw mismanaging in there as well? At the end of September, Google shut it down its Stadia gaming platform, an ambitious attempt at letting people play video games without needing any actual video game hardware to play them on. Today, Google announced a new line of Chromebooks with an emphasis on cloud-based gaming. I know these two things aren't directly related. They never are at companies as big as Google. It's not like the same product team threw Stadia in the bin, took a step over to a counter, pulled off a sheet covering a laptop, and said, ta-da! But the optics are still hilarious to us. The people who are just looking on from the sidelines, wondering between Inbox and Google Reader and countless other cool things, just who is actually in charge of the company's overall gaming strategy? That's actually a fair question. Anyway, the new announcement today is that an upcoming line of Chromebooks, a genuinely useful Google product, made in partnership with Acer, Asus, and Lenovo, great, three companies that I don't have any faith in their products. The Chromebooks are made by third parties, have been designed with cloud gaming features specifically in mind. While that doesn't mean much in terms of performance, these are Chromebooks, and we're talking about streaming games, not playing them locally. The three will be doing all they can within those limitations to appeal to games, including shipping with larger screens, 15, 16 inches, and RGB keyboards. Most importantly, though, they're all shipping with 3 different streaming platforms pre-installed and ready to go: Xbox Cloud Gaming, GeForce Now, and Amazon Luna. Which is a very funny and timely way of saying, okay, if you didn't want to play out a cloud gaming service, maybe you'll play someone else's. The Lenovo one will be $599, Acer is $659, and the Asus one doesn't have a price yet. What do you think of Google's next try at cloud gaming?
Wait, they're redoing this again? They actually reattempted to do another cloud gaming service after not even a few months of their announcement of shutting down the original Stadia.
They're actually they're not doing that. They're developing Chromebooks, which will allow people to use other people's gaming services, Xbox, GeoForce, and Amazon's.
Basically, they're ripping off or trying to latch on to other gaming services other than their own.
Right, they couldn't do it well themselves, so now they're saying, "Hey, we'll sell things that let people play other cloud gaming devices or other cloud gaming services."
Well, if they learn to utilize what they already have and prepare for the future of the matter, like I would rather have the Google go retract back or shut down the original Stadia idea, or put it on hiatus. Tell people like, oh, you can still use the gaming services, but you're not going to be able to really do much with it after 2023. And then for the next 10 years or so, master it, master that craft, and then re-release it onto people on the newer devices of their own, like whether there's Google Chrome, the 5th generation, whatever, or whatever their product is of Google itself, of the Chromebooks, or have the Stadia again with this time with better internet by it's going to be 6G the next 10 years if we're careful, and that'll be great. That'll be maybe a way better time to utilize the cloud gaming, especially on Google's end. But now Xbox is dominating that matter. Like I can do cloud gaming from like not random games, but certain games. Like I think it was Elysium or Chronicles or Elysium Chronicles. So that's one of those games you can do cloud gaming on. Last time I checked. So if they do something like that, Xbox, then they could be the dominant man or the dominant dog, in the gaming market of cloud gaming. So Google may have to bite their tongue, bite their hands a bit, just like, okay, we're gonna retract back or retreat, and then we'll just put on hiatus or whatever, and then re-release it to the public in 10 years or so. And I'm sure by then they'll have something great. By then they're a multi-billion-dollar company, so they got plenty of revenue, if not profits or whatever they make up in their value to reinitiate that Google Stadia game or system, we want to call it. So yeah, it's it's just useless right now for Google to just latch onto other platforms or other companies that does their own little thing of cloud gaming. Other than that, it's just that you're just trying to hang on there, but you're not. You just gotta let it go. You just gotta let it go, yeah. Google. That's my opinion, of course. But in the end, it's logic and reason behind the matter. It's marketing 101. I have attended several marketing classes, whether it's online or in person, over the years. I'm now 35 years old, and I'm seeing that what they explain in class about consumerism, and even in high school they have consumer-related courses like home economics, what's that called, nutrition classes, things like that. Like everything involves with marketing involved. Like this whole world is involved with marketing, just to a great extent. So it's these companies at the top may falter down to the bottom if they're not careful, like Google, because these one slip-ups after another slip-ups ranging from God knows how many times with Google, can make them, eat their own words. So it's gonna be interesting for them to latch onto other cloud gaming. So.
Yeah, and to be developing Chromebooks or be involved in Chromebooks. I just have to say, when I was getting a new laptop in 2020, or getting a laptop, a new one because my old one's in there and doesn't work anymore, I actually did a lot of research on different computer companies. Acer, Lenovo, I have absolutely no faith in them. Because when I was researching these laptops, I was reading customer reviews. And a lot of problems just came up for customers based on their reviews. When I got my laptop, I went to, I think it was Walmart. I think it was Walmart. And they had 3 laptops left. They said I could either have the one I have now, which is HP Hyper Pavilion. I've used their computers growing up. They're a good company. I could get an Acer laptop, which was $20 cheaper, which, like I said, Acer, I really am skeptical about the quality of their products. Or I could get a Chromebook. Chromebook didn't have Windows. Acer had no faith in them, so I got an HP laptop. I don't know, so I'm kind of skeptical how these Chromebooks are going to be, because they're being made by Acer, Lenovo. Where's the computer companies that like HP or Dell, or the ones that we know make quality products? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything else to add, or ready to move on?
I just want to say that Google themselves they're in a good position. They work with other major companies throughout not only the United States but also internationally. Not only through other companies and mega corporations and other conglomerates, but also with the other governments as well, from China to the United States, even intelligence and enforcement agencies like that of the CIA. And as well as the Chinese intelligence, I forgot what's the exact name. These are the Chinese intelligence ministries. So these guys are like, hand over fist, hand in hand, if ever, know how to handle their affairs with certain projects. So it's like, if they can do that with these governments and other conglomerates, surely they can master cloud gaming in a matter of years. So it's only a matter of time. If they retract what they're doing now, or at least retreat. Like, just do like a little hiatus or whatever. Like after 2023, shut down everything. All the companies they're associated with the cloud gaming, whatever. Like, shut them down, whatever, and then just like focus on your project, focus on your little experiments, and that's it. Within 10 years, by 2030, 2032, it's gonna be like nothing happened. And it'll be a reinvigoration of the cloud gaming based on Google's intuition, or at least Google's little, hand in the mix of things. So, yeah, that's all I can say.
I mean, but it's just, I also threw mismanagement in there, because look at YouTube. I mean, YouTube has declined in fun and quality since the 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. It's a whole lot more fun to use the website then than it is now.
More censorship,
and this was under the ownership of Google.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, if you can't run one thing right, why would I expect you to run something else correctly?
Well, somehow, some way, they still maintain YouTube to a certain kind of aspect and standard for other users. So even though they're losing revenue altogether with YouTube, they're still doing their best to maintain the services for people to use by any means necessary. I'm not saying that they're perfect, and I'm not saying that they're the master of everything, but they actually do their best to.
They're good.
Yeah, they're doing a good job, like I said, but it's just that overall, like, the censorship, I understand they want to keep certain people, like us, just as one of us people, you and I, Triple J, like to talk about games, things like that, because we talk about other things on the internet as well, so it's like, they want to clamp down on this censorship and stuff, like, they're trying to, make sure no one doesn't speak too much, but, they're losing users, customers. Oh yes, they have their hands in other aspects of other aspects in the world economy. But in the end, people are just going to go to some other smaller company like that of Rumble, or go like that of what's it called, BitChute, and what's it called, Billy. That's the one that I signed up for it. Those swells who found me on Bilibili. I've been on Bilibili for about a month now, and I just added my trailers to that account and went on Bilibili. So it's like they're rising up, these smaller platforms. If Google's not careful, So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, YouTube. My problem with it is when I had my channel like in 2009 and 2010. For the next couple of years, it was a lot of fun. You could do your channel the way you wanted it. You could design it the way you wanted.
Yeah.
Then they decided, we're going to make everyone have a white background and look more professional, because that's what the executives want. And then YouTube started, let's not forget that whole apocalypse, what was it, advertiser apocalypse, when someone decided to show something in their videos they shouldn't, and Google got the great idea to punish every small creator that didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, ranging from like white supremacists to like terrorists, they all just take advantage of the YouTube ad revenue for what they. This is the news is saying it public. So, but I know one thing certain: they don't like guys like us, you and I, trying to make it in this world. So they're like, hey, we're gonna clamp down on their little revenue, make sure to cut them out altogether, knowing that it's not our side jobs. I mean, it's not our main jobs, whatever. This is, this YouTube thing is like, in and of itself, like a unfathomable, but original type of lifestyle. Like, of course, yeah. I'm not on my part. Am I making money off of YouTube? Of course not. No ad revenue at all. I'm not getting none from this now whatsoever. But I'm having fun talking about games and politics and other topics and issues. Like, it's not some out of the nowhere that like I'm making money, guys. Like, we're risking our time and effort trying to put you guys on a good show. We try to tell you what's going on, and this type of stuff. And YouTube's just. The Google of overseeing YouTube, the Google guys, they're just not. They don't see that bigger picture. They want to just care about like their own little image, and it's like once they're on the internet, there's all kinds of people, there's all kinds of cultures, values. Like unless you can just say no to just be the next Blip TV, by all means, go ahead. Look what happened to Blip TV. They clamped down on that matter. They want all kinds of people talking about all kinds of content and issues and all this stuff. So it's kind of like, it's going to be another MySpace at this point with YouTube if they keep it, and they keep this up though. So not only that, Google Chrome will be faltered.
Google has stopped making their bad decisions. I mean,
yeah, once the Google Stadia shuts down, what else going to shut down? YouTube.
Yeah.
Then their projects with the CIA and stuff like that will falter, I bet. So it's like a whatever. So
it's like a domino effect. One domino falls, the rest are going to follow.
Yeah.
Ready to move on?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Good stuff.
Just let me check OBS. Okay.
So this will be a good one.
Next, hold on. Is display capture? Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna be a good one, indeed.
Next one. Cowards. Lady Dimitrescu will be shorter in the Resident Evil Village DLC. Good news, Short Kings. Lady Dimitrescu is going to be a bit shorter in Resident Evil Village's DLC. Lady Dimitrescu, otherwise known as Tall Vampire Lady or simply Big Lady, if you're experiencing a loss for words, might have to get a more diminutive nickname that doesn't reference her towering height come the release of Resident Evil Village's first major DLC, because Capcom will be making her a little bit shorter. Resident Evil Village's big upcoming DLC collection, collectively dubbed Winter's Expansion, which was first announced back in June during Capcom's Not E3 broadcast. In it, players will play as protagonist Ethan Winters' now teenage daughter Rose, to tie up loose ends from the Village's story. It will let you play the game's score attack style, the Mercenaries mode, as Chris Redfield, Carl Heisenberg, and Lady Dimitrescu. However, players won't get to live vicariously as Lady D when it comes to her canonical height in Mercenaries mode. In an interview with Polygon, Kento Kinoshita, the director for the Winter's Expansion, revealed that Capcom had to nerf Lady D's height in order to give players a smoother gameplay experience. Ready for Lady Dummy Thick's new height reveal? Here we go. Instead of Lady D towering over you at a whopping 9'6", she'll be a bit shy of 9 feet tall. If you can't handle her at her shortest, you didn't deserve her at her tallest. During the development of Resident Evil Village's Mercenaries mode, Konishida told Polygon that Lady Dimitrescu's height presented a challenge for developers. Despite the difficulties in translating Lady D's height into Mercenaries, Konishida said the overwhelming fan response to that element of Lady Dimitrescu's tall stature was too important not to include in the game mode. For the Mercenaries, it's necessary that the player can control the character easily, and to make that possible, we did adjust her height to a little under 9 feet tall, Kinoshita told Polygon. At that height, the player just barely avoids bumping into the ceiling. Kinoshita also revealed that Capcom was also able to preserve Lady D's calm, dignified side and excitable, deranged side in the Mercenaries, so do with that information what you will. All the Winter's Expansion update will launch October 28th, that's in 6 days from now, and be available both separately and as a bundle with the original game known as Resident Evil Village Gold Edition. So, what do you think about them having to shrink Lady Dimitrescu in Resident Evil Village Mercenaries mode?
It's only by 6 inches. She's still a tall mofo, so.
Yeah. It's weird though. I mean, it's just weird. That's the best I can say about it.
I mean, I'm not trying to be too realistic, but there are like tall women out there that as tall as like 7 feet tall. But on record and the world record, on like tallest person's like what 9'5", not even. So
I think 9 feet even.
Okay, but yeah, it's I don't see the difference. Is she's still a tall mother, you know what? So it's like, motherfucker. I'm sorry if I'm laughing too much, guys. It's just that these news I'm hearing for the last several days now, it's like, what are they trying to do here? They're trying to shock people or what? It's like they're saying that they say they want to reduce the height, but we're expecting maybe 6'7", 6'10", but just 9 feet and that's it. And instead of 9'6", it's like, what's the point? What was the point of all of that? So I guess you could say is that it's no shocker. I mean, was it Mr. X? He was at least 7 feet tall.
At least maybe 8 feet.
8 feet actually. Okay. Yeah,
that's just a guess. I'm not knowledgeable about Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't know Mr. X, but only was so much. Even though it's been 20 years, I have the game of Resident Evil 2. At least 25 years actually. So it's kind of weird. So.
Yeah. So I mean, I just don't understand. How hard could it have been to make her controllable? If she was going to bump into ceilings, why not just raise the ceiling of the buildings that are going to be in Mercenaries mode?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a big deal, I guess. People are probably going to still enjoy Mercenaries mode. But it sounds kind of weird. Like, since when did a character's height ever have dictate how that character was going to control?
Oh yeah.
I never played a game and said this character controlled awful because he was too tall. No. That never happened.
Yeah. I mean, if ever, we never really had like that many very extremely tall characters before. Since when just the Resident Evil 2 of Mr. X and all, but then also Nemesis not even 7 feet tall. So it's kind of like.
Right.
So it's kind of like, it's over the years, no other video game character has all gotten taller and between 7 feet tall or taller. So I don't know what else to say about this matter. I'm just saying, because Lady Dimitrescu, if you want to pronounce her name that way, she's like one of those big shocking type of characters that we've seen in a while, from not only from height but also that. So.
Yeah, so
that's a whole lot of women right there. So,
I mean, yeah, but she's also not something I'd want to come face to face to.
Hey, you got me one time, right? Like I was right in front of you. I'm that tall. So it's like, imagine the Lady Dimitrescu. It's like she can be 9 feet tall. She's above the ceiling of my apartment. So it's like, damn.
Yeah, she makes you look like a normal height.
I know, right?
If you stood next to you. So I mean, again, it just sounds like such a weird reason why they had to shorten her. I mean, that's the only thing I think of. It's like, really? She was going to be too hard to control, and you just couldn't raise the ceiling of buildings. Ready to move on?
Oh yeah.
All right. Next. Pilot Wing 64, now out on Switch and still includes Twin Towers. Pilot Wing 64 has come to Nintendo Switch Online and includes the game's own rendition of the World Trade Center.
Wow.
Pilot Wing 64 is a Nintendo 64 launch game that's lived in Super Mario 64's shadow for more than 2 decades now, but it's a pretty fun time in its own right. Now the forgotten first-party N64 exclusive has come into Nintendo Switch Online and includes a small detail that might surprise you, an obvious tribute to the Twin Towers. Pilot Wing 64 came out in 1996, which obviously means that it predates the 9/11 terrorist attacks that defined a generation. As noted by Axios' Stephen Totilo, the game's Little States map includes several obvious references to Manhattan, including its own Empire State Building and World Trade Center. It also has a Mount Rushmore stand-in, only with Mario taking the place of George Washington. Okay. A previous post by Tolio speculated whether or not the Switch version of Pilot Wing 64 will include the Twin Towers facsimile. Well, we have our answer. Though it might seem strange to edit a 25-year-old game, sensitivity around 9/11 references continue to be a factor in our daily lives. For example, Wikipedia has a list of more than a dozen films that were edited to remove the Twin Towers in the years after the attacks. As for Pilot Wings itself, it's a collection of flying-themed minigames that serves as a showcase for the then-impressive N64 hardware. To play it, you must subscribe to both Nintendo Switch Online and its expansion pass, which features other N64 classics such as GoldenEye 007, Zelda Ocarina of Time, and Super Mario 64. Now, if only they would add Snowboard Kids too. So we'll be. That's not the only game that's being added to Nintendo Switch's Online Pass, expansion pass. But what do you think of them leaving the World Trade Center in Pilot Wings?
I'm very surprised. As it was been like about at least 21 years since 9/11 attacks happened. So you figure they're going to censor it, but I guess not. And then, at the same time, who's going to really be offensive right now after 20 years? It's kind of like unless you refer to like Gen Z losing their parents from like 20 years ago when they were like babies or even kids. So it's kind of like that's a small like a very select few group of people that'll be offended by this matter. So
it's yes. I'm glad they're leaving it in. And to be fair, 9/11 did actually wreck what was going to be a video game release. What happened is they made a game for Dreamcast called Propeller Aviation. It was Propeller Arena Aviation, I think was the full title. It was basically you pick an airplane and you're shooting other airplanes out of the sky. Mm-hmm. The only problem, on September 18th, 2001, no one wanted to play a game like that because 9/11 was a week earlier.
Oh, okay.
And level 3 was called Tower City, with 2 glass towers right near each other. And I heard that was one of the reasons the game was canceled, even though it was finished.
Well, that sucks.
So with 9/11 having that kind of effect on video game releases, I am surprised Pilot Wing 64 is keeping it in. But I'm saying I think good for them,
Oh yeah, that's a good thing actually, because the less censorship, the better. Especially if you want to. What they should do from now on, if game companies can listen in on our conversation, whether it's publicly or not, or through the shares of these videos, these podcastings, what they should do is that they should have a censorship button or a censorship switch on and off. Whereas like you want to censor out the graphic content, you want to censor out the politics, or censor out the excessive amounts of dogma, if you want to call it, of absolute like type of content of like politics or religion, whatever. Then by all means censor it on under the little option before the game. And then like you do with Call of Duty back in the day. I remember, I think you still do it to this day on Call of Duty games, like Modern Warfare 2019, where it says, oh, you want to turn graphic content on and off, or at least leave it on, you just leave it on by letting it be. But if you want to get rid of it, like the No Russian mission on Modern Warfare 2, of the original Modern Warfare 2 back in 2009, that one right there was one of the most sensitive, most egregious related matter of offense. In game history, one of the most offenses. And this is not just because of my own experience, but also the fact that the larger populace dealt with the September 11th attacks and the war on terror. Everyone's scared of everything, everything. It's just
Not to mention that no Russian mission in the original Modern Warfare 2, they actually gave you the option to skip that mission. You could, play through the whole campaign and skip that mission without being penalized if it was.
Yep.
If it was too traumatic, or you were affected by something in real life that mission would brought back memories or something.
Oh yes, definitely.
But
unfortunately, if I can say this too. If I can say this though, Triple J, is that unfortunately you're not going to see nothing like that in Modern Warfare 2022 per se.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reboot, and they'll change it up a bit. So I understand the feeling, but there's going to be other offenses as well in that game most likely. So I can't wait to get my copy for the Xbox One next month. I can't get it this week or next week, whatever the release date is, but by next month hopefully I'll get a copy of it. So yeah.
So anyway, Pilot Wing 64, good job. I'm glad you decided to make it leave it in because, if you start censoring this stuff, how long before people forget?
It's like with the World War II theme type of game, video games. What's it called? What's not the Call of Duty Vanguard? Like originally they talk about in other previous Call of Duty games about the Nazis, World War II, the Allies versus the Axis of Powers. Now all of a sudden in Vanguard, they'll say in every gameplay of like multiplayer gameplay, like especially Team Slayer, it will say my team versus the enemy team, and that's it. What happened to the Nazis versus the Axis powers? The CIA or the OSS versus the German SS, or whatever their intelligence, German intelligence communities are, or whatever. So that type of stuff. So, yeah.
It's just like imagine they were still making Army Men games today with the green and tan soldiers.
Oh yes.
I could just imagine how they'd be censoring that game too. But yeah, so I think Pilot Wing 64. I've never really cared about Pilot Wings either on Super Nintendo or Nintendo 64. I have to admit. But hey, if it's a good game, if people like it, maybe it'll be another reason to pay for Nintendo Switch's online expansion service. And like I said, we're going to talk about another 2 games that are being added to that service or have been added. You want to get into that right now?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Next, just let me check OBS. Mario Party and Mario Party 2 are coming to Nintendo Switch Online and Expansion Pack November 2nd. Plus, GoldenEye 007 is promised to be coming soon. You'll soon be able to start the process of losing your friends as Mario Party and Mario Party 2 are coming to Nintendo Switch Online November 2nd. Nintendo has finally announced the date. Original Friendship Killers will be coming to the Switch Online and Expansion Pack service, bringing the 2 classic N64 titles to Nintendo's latest console for the first time. The first Mario Party launched in 1999, laying the foundations for many arguments to come, and lets 4 players face off against one another across 9 adventure boards and 56 minigames. Mario Party 2 picked up where the first one left off in 2000, this time allowing Mario and friends and enemies to don the occasional costume with new boards and minigames to play through. Nintendo also had some announcements for other treats expansion pack subscribers can expect, like how from November 1st, members can earn double My Nintendo Gold points through purchasing digital games or DLC in the eShop and My Nintendo Store. Some N64-themed icon elements will also be coming soon for expansion pack members, who can use Platinum points to buy these whenever they do launch. Nintendo also confirmed that GoldenEye 007 would be coming to the expansion pack soon, though in typical Nintendo fashion didn't specify how soon. Whenever it does launch, it should also do so on Xbox, but if you're looking to play the game with friends online, the Switch will be your best bet, as Microsoft has no plans to add online play. For games like Mario Party 3, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, 1080 Snowboarding, and Excite Bike 64, things were slightly more specific as a release window of 2023 was provided, at least. However, they could release monthly as most titles have since the expansion pack launched. So, what do you think of Mario Party 1 and 2 coming to the service?
That's interesting. So basically, can you do an online gameplay with it, or just a regular version of the Mario Party 1 and 2?
I don't remember saying it would be online, so I think it would.
That would be
No,
actually
they just talked about like other perks besides Mario Party 1 and 2. So to play the games, I think you would have to. They didn't say anything about online play in these games.
That would be nice to have online gameplay because if you can't have all your 3 other friends in the same room, at least let's say like one other friend is staying not too far from wherever you are, and then my friend can from downstairs, whatever, you can team up and things like that. Man, that'd be great. That'd be like an awesome dynamic right there. Because it's not like the old days where it's like you go to parties and get together by these other kids while the adults are mingling up above in the barbecue area, outside, having a good time. Whatever. It was pretty good, memories that I had with other people that are in similarity with my interests. Because I remember at least a few times I'll go over to my mom's friend's house somewhere in let's just say in Long Island somewhere, and every few months or every year almost for a couple of years or so, we'll go over to have barbecuing with some sort of birthday party of like my mom's daughters, my mom's friends' daughters, parties or whatever. She's considered disabled, so they probably know who I'm talking about. And we have a good time in the basement. We're playing with it with my mom's friend's daughter's brother, who he's like around my age at the time, while the daughter, she's like around maybe 16, 17 years old, having a sweet 16 or whatever, or just basic teenage hood stuff. Every year she just gets something better and better every time so often. And we will just play Sonic. We'll play like, with Virtual Cop, some Sega Saturn games like Knights and stuff like that. If I recall correctly, so it was like at least 20 years ago to happen, though, man. Time flies, and we lost contact after when my mom and I moved out of the Valley Stream back in 2003. So since then, we lost contact. To my awareness, that is, to my personal situation, my own little perspective. So, and it was good. Mario Party. I think we never really played. I will admit that, but those were good moments to have to play Mario Party 1 and 2. But by Mario Party 9, where when Mario Party had that,
I think Mario Party 10 actually.
Okay, because I'm thinking of.
I think they stopped after 10 on the Wii U.
Okay, because I remember back in the Wii U years, they actually had a Mario Party where you get to try to go after Bowser and his son Bowser Jr. So that was something interesting to look forward to. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford it back then. I was busy with my own little Halo 3 gaming. So, but yeah, it's good times, and I hope that.
Well, I have no idea what Halo 3 has to do with Mario Party because Halo 3 came out like in the mid-2000s.
Yeah,
and Mario Party came out in 1999.
If you let me finish, I'm referring to when Mario Party 9 to 10 came out, the
Oh.
Yes.
I thought you were saying that's the reason you couldn't get the original Mario Party.
I was busy.
Wait a minute.
Well, I was busy playing Halo
years afterwards.
I was busy playing Halo 3 because I also couldn't afford it, the Mario Party games or the system at the time. So I could only afford the Halos, the Call of Duties maybe once in a while. That's about it. Other than that, I was just trying to spruce up the conversation. So yeah, that's my situation.
Well, I do think these games might have online play because, like they said, GoldenEye 007 will have online play on the Switch.
Okay.
So I don't know why these other games would not, because that's also supposed to be another perk about the Switch Online Game Pass or expansion, whatever the actual title is. So if GoldenEye is going to have it, I expect Mario Party to have it. Just like other games. I think even Mario Kart has it.
Mm-hmm.
But Mario Party 1 and 2 and 3 coming in the future, that's good because these games are still expensive. Like last I checked, and I haven't checked recently, Mario Party 3 can go for like $50 just the cartridge.
Oh wow, that's
Mario Party the first Mario Party could go for like anywhere between $35 to $40.
That's actually not bad if you think about it.
Yeah, but I mean Mario Party 3. I'm gonna check right now, just to see if I can. But I mean, these games that the Mario Party trilogy, they're not really cheap games, so they're actually worth getting the online expansion pass if you have a Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
I just want to see how much these games cost now if, with inflation and everything. Okay, these are all for the loose cartridge. Mario Party, the first one, is $37. Mario Party 2 is $50. Mario Party 3 is $57. So, paying what, $20 for the online Switch Pass, or even $50, you're getting a deal because you'll be able to play these games online.
That's good.
Mario Party on the first one, I got 100 stars in the party mode, which took a long time, even with cheating. No, because when you played the Mario Party mode, any stars you got during the game, you got to keep. When you got 100 stars, you unlock Bowser's map.
Okay. But
what happened is you would only keep the stars if that a player got if a human was controlling that player. If a computer player got a star, you didn't keep it at the end of the game.
Okay.
So, at the end of, on the last turn, I had to make everyone a human player, and then I got all the stars, everyone, and even doing that, it took a long time to reach 100 stars. Also, Mario Party 1, I do have to also mention, it did give players blisters, because a lot of many games, you had to rotate the analog stick, and people were complaining about getting blisters on their palm. Apparently, they fixed that with Mario Party 2, and I haven't heard anything bad about Mario Party 3.
Regardless of if it's Mario Party or not, over the years and into decades of gaming altogether, your thumbs, or at least the two thumbs of my two thumbs, it started to catch up to me. So it's like, it doesn't matter if it's Mario Party or some game like The Simpsons or any arcade game like the 90s and 2000s. Everything catches up. So I can't imagine what we're going to be like for the next 20 years. Where he's hearing medical cases of thumb strains or even thumb surgeries to fix these strains on the thumbs. Perhaps carpal tunnel will be a bigger problem too in the next couple of decades as well. So, yeah. Of course, I'm partially veering off topic, but it's something to imagine for the next.